morning to all. This is Vinod from Excel Snippet, and again, I keep thanking all my subscribers again and again, and I'm touching almost 300 numbers now, and this is a moment I need to thank my new subscribers and as well as the one who supported me all way long. In today's session, we are about to see how to work with a large and small function and adding a few more small formulas together and make the data look even more effective. In our previous two videos, the video number 9 and 10, you can see that it is going to give you the basic idea about what is a min function, how I use a small function, what is a max function, and how I use a large function. So I'm going to use all of them in one dimension with the following outputs here. So I have 3 or 4 different conditions that I'm trying to add here. The first condition that I'm trying to add is I want to find out the top 3 large sales, and I have a value here on the left to me, so I'm okay with that. So this is the value that I'm going to work on this part, and I'll show you how this is going to work on our list. So this is our values that is given. This is the last 12 to 13 days sales that has happened in this year, and I want to find out the last 3 large sales that has happened here. So to find out the last 3 large sales happened in the last 12 days, I want to just show them one below the other in an order. Then I normally use a large function here. This is what we used in our video number 10. So when I work down this valuation completely, then I give an absolute cell reference F4 once and then give a comma. In my earlier video, I gave the number 1, number 2, and number 3 and so on. So instead of giving that, because I don't want to add them as a separate column, because if anything happens to that column, or if I accidentally or if I delete them, then I will have an issue because my answer will go for a haywire component. I don't want to do that. So what I want is I want the number to be generated by the system itself. So I'm going to just refer the previous cell and I'm going to leave it as it is, so that even a new column is added or deleted, it's going to fetch the previous column in place and then show you how it's going to work for us. So to do this, I'm going to use a new function called, or the function which you already have called rows. Then I'm going to refer this cell and then hit a colon here. You can see that automatically it refers the first cell. And what I'm trying to do right now is I want to give the answer here called 1. Instead of manually typing the 1, 2, 3 here, I'm using a function called rows here, and then I'm going to keep the first cell references or the first H4 as row lock. So this will be locked in the first cell, and then when I do this and give an enter, and if I want to see what is going to give you an answer here, so I'm going to select the row alone and press F9. I'm trying to evaluate this formula. To evaluate this formula, what I'm going to do right now is I've just selected the last row alone. When I press Shift F5, it has to show that, but unfortunately it's not showing me. So to evaluate this formula and see what the row function is going to give us, so I can either put them in the separate row column. So I'm going to just say equals rows here, and then choose the cell here, F4, and select my list on the right, F4 twice, close the bracket and give an enter. So it's going to give you an answer called 1 here. I've put that inside a formula here, so it's going to give you the 1. When I keep scrolling down, you can see that the number is automatically getting incremented here. That's what this row function actually does for us. So instead of doing that separately, so now I want to evaluate this, so I'm going to just say, so I think that my keyboard is not working here. So that's why it's not showing me. That's okay. As I showed you the output of the valuation, you can see that. Or if you want to evaluate the existing formula, just place the cursor in the formula, then go back to formula, evaluate a formula. When now you can see the selection is in the row. When I give an evaluate, it gives you a number 1 here. So close this. When I drag this down, the next formula will show evaluation as 2. The next formula will show the evaluation as 3. So this is the way our large functions worked, and this is the formula that I've used here. So I'm going to just use a formula text, select the first cell and then merge them, and this is the formula that I've used to match your results. The same way I'm going to use the small function. So I'm going to come back to this point. I'm going to small, choose the whole data, absolute cell reference F4 once, give a comma, then I'm going to use rows, and then choose a cell here and press give colon, and then place the first cell point and hit an F4 twice, close the bracket and give an enter. Then I'm going to populate the data list. So this is my next formula. So now I'm going to copy paste this. So I'm going to copy this, paste it here. So now I'm going to use the merge functionality. Yes, here we go. So now I got my large function and small function. But sometimes what happens is I want to find the last, that is the last, I found the last three largest sales and I found the last three smallest sales. I want to put them together. So on overall sales, if I want to add here, I'm going to add a sum function here, which allows you to get the total sales is 12,684 for me. And now I want to add that data here, and I want to see out of the 12,687 on 12 days sales, what are the largest 3 day sales that I have accumulated here on large part and as well as on a smaller part. So to do that, I'm going to add the same function again. So I'm going to just copy this and add it here, and at last I'm going to add a sum function to sum them up. When I do the sum them up, and you can see that it is not showing me my 3 total sales, it shows the first sales only. So to make them look better or to work with them perfectly, so I'm going to start with a sum function, then I'm going to use a large function here, select the whole data without the total at the last, F4 once, that gives you an absolute cell reference, and give a comma. Now I'm going to use it's an array function, as I told you earlier in our previous videos. So I'm going to use a flower bracket here, and I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 and so on. So you can use any number here. So I'm manually using the first 3 factor of it when I give an enter. So that's going to give you the summation of this. So if you want to cross verify it, I'm going to sum this too. Then I'm going to add the numerical formula here. So I want to put the same format here. The same way I can sum the small data to F4, comma, flower bracket, 1, 2, 3, flower bracket close the bracket, and close the bracket for the sum. When you give an enter, you get the list here. So now you can see the summation that I have here and here are same. So in real world, if you are using a large and small functionality, you can use that in this way. So now I want to just create the formula text for this file and the formula text for this file too. So now I got all of them. So now I got the summation of my data here for the large and the small here. So this is how we will use large, small, sum and OR functions in the real world situations. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Vinod signing off from Excel Snippet, and I again thank you guys all for making my channel a more usable channel. Try to subscribe this if you are not subscribed it, and if you are looking forward to share it with your friends and family, that's an awesome plan, and they can also learn something new every now and then. Today I'm going to add 2 more video. One is on lookup function, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index and match functionality, and normal lookup function, and I'm going to show you how to use filter, mostly used function in Excel. Thank you so much. For this, I'll sign out. Stay safe, stay updated.